problem number 5. In the 11-term sequence A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, the value of B is 7. I'll just put that right in here. And the value of H is 9. Also, the sum of any 4 consecutive terms is 42. What is the value of A plus K? Well, gosh, this is one of those where it just doesn't seem like it could be possible. But let's just list out what we know and start working with that. That's always the best way to approach it. And so I've already written down here B is 7 and H is 9. I just kind of marked that on there. We're working with a sequence of 11, and these letters are just standing in for the numbers in the sequence. So the other information that we're given is that the sum of any 4 consecutive any 4 consecutive terms is equal to 42. So let's just start writing out what that means. That means that A plus B plus C plus D is equal to 42, right? And if we take B plus C plus D plus E, we get 42. Now, we can keep listing those out, but if you look at these two equations, okay, you can see that if we actually subtract the second one from the first one, a lot of these terms will cancel out. Even though we've got 5 unknowns and 2 equations, we can't find all of the terms, but if we subtract one from the other, we eliminate 3 of the 5 terms. So let's do that. If I take, essentially, I'll just negate this whole thing right here. And then we end up with, let's see, you can see here that if this is all negative, negate everything in here, then B minus B is 0, C minus C is 0, D minus D is 0. So we end up with A minus E is equal to 42 minus 42 is 0. So that's saying that A is equal to E. So that tells us something, all right? We don't know what E is yet, but let's keep going. Let's look at the next set of 4 consecutive terms. We have C plus D plus E plus F. And we know that should also equal 42. And if we take the difference of these two equations, you can see again that C minus C is 0, D minus D is 0, E minus E is 0. Now I've already put a negative sign here on the top one, so I'll just leave that and I'll subtract this bottom one from the one I've already negated. So that would tell us that F minus B is equal to, whoops, I wrote 44, I meant 42. So I'll change that. So that's 42. 42 minus 42 is 0. So what does that tell us? It tells us that B is equal to F. All right? And we already know that B is equal to 7, so then F has to be equal to 7. So we can pencil that in. Alright, we can just keep doing this all day, right? So the next set of consecutive numbers is D plus E plus F plus G is equal to 42. If we subtract those two, we'll end up with C minus G is equal to 0, and so we get C is equal to G. Okay? And let's keep going. E plus F plus G plus H is equal to 42. We subtract those two equations, we get D minus H equals 0. So D is equal to H. Now we know what H is already. We were told what H was, so we can just write in for D, we can write 9. Okay, so we're getting some information. Alright, we'll just keep going here. F plus G plus H plus I is equal to 42. Take the difference of those two equations, we end up with E minus I is equal to 0. So E equals I. Alright. Let's keep going. I'll scroll down here a bit. G plus H plus I plus J, right, that's the next one, is equal to 42. Again, we can subtract those two, and we're going to get F minus J is equal to 0. So that means that F is equal to J. Okay. Alright, well, we know F, so let's make this 7 as well. And we have, alright, let's keep going. That's H plus I plus J plus K is equal to 42, right? And so that gives us that G minus K is equal to 0, and so G is equal to K, right? Alright, so we have this series here. We don't know what A and C are, so that means we don't know what E, G, I, and K are. But we do know that, so A is equal to A, B is 7, we know that C is equal to C, D is 9. We don't know E, but we do know that E is equal to A, right? So we can just write this as A, and then we can write, so this F is 7. We don't know G, but we know G is equal to C. Okay, so we can just write C, and then we know 9. And then, let's see, I is equal to E, but E was equal to A, so we can just write another A. And this is 7. Oh, and then K is equal to G, and G was equal to C, so we can just write C here. Now we're looking for A plus K. But now we know that A plus K is the same as A plus C, right? And we know that these consecutive numbers had to equal 42, so that so we can take 42 minus 16, alright, that's 9 and 7, and that should be equal to A plus C, alright? So, which is the same thing as A plus K, like I just said. So, what does that give us? 42 minus 16 is 26. So, A plus K is equal to 26. Alright, I told you I like these kinds of problems where they seem like they're going to be impossible at first, but if you just keep plugging away at it and trying different things, you'll get it. And this one really wasn't too bad once we start just listing out what we know. So, don't get discouraged.